So, hey, Metalheads, Metal is a law radio show and YouTube channel. Has the honor to interview the composer, arranger, producer, and guitar player of the outstanding THERION, Christian Vidal. Welcome, Christian. Thanks for your time. And my first question is, the last Therion's album released in January is called Leviathan and has an interesting concept. Could you speak a little bit about it? And also about the next albums of the trilogy about to come?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for this interview. And hello to all the audience. And well, about the concept, I'm not much a guy of the concept itself. I'm much more focused on the music. You know. So what I can tell you about Leviathan, like some people say, is that I got very surprised in a good way with the album. Uh, it's musically speaking is one of the first, if not the first, album when I kind of like, not kind of, I do like 8 of the 11 songs as favorite songs, which is
Wow.
very difficult, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very common that you say, okay, yes, I have my 2 favorites, I have my 3, I have my 8 of 11, which is, believe me, it doesn't happen often, you know, very often. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very glad, I'm very happy with that. Uh, Part of it, I think it is because of this new society we've got now of songwriting society, which is, I call it that way, which is Christopher Johnson and Thomas Wikström. These 2 guys are working together and, you know, you can hear the difference already.
Mm-hmm.
So about the concept and about the next 2 albums, what happened is that it was a lot of songs. You know, it was very difficult to choose when, you know, when we got all these emails when we are kind of voting. Okay, which is your song? Which is your song? Or, you know, you're 10, you're 15, and it was very tough. I must say that most of the songs that are not in this album, they were also my favorites. So it's so okay. And now I don't remember, to be honest, the number of songs, but it was a lot, as I told you.
Okay.
So I can tell you that we already have material for the second album, which we are already recording. Because let's say I stopped recording in, I don't remember the month, but some point in your summer, you know, some point I was done with recording guitars. And before we've got the album mixed and mastered, no?
Mm-hmm.
I was already recording the second album, which I'm still recording. Today, for example, today I got some more songs from Christopher, you know, to record guitars. So I don't know if both albums, I mean, number 2 and number 3 are composed, but I think we are close.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looks like that. So my next question would be about working on the on this next 2 albums. So you have already answered. Yeah. So you are on it, working on it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good. So the first single of Leviathan is called Tuonela and was released along with a video clip and having Marcus Hietala ex Nightwish, and who has recently announced his retirement from music, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
So how did the fans and critics respond to that?
Well, Tuonela, one of my favorites, my 8 favorites. so far, I haven't met anyone, I mean, virtually, who is not happy with this because the audience seems to love Marco and our fans. They all
Mm-hmm.
seems to be so happy that he's, together with us in this song. So all the reviews or the words we hear, we read, it's, oh, that's cool, oh, it's so cool,
Yeah.
what a good, blah, blah, blah. Yes, everybody seems to be happy. And of course, we are happy too.
Okay. All right. Now, how do you manage playing a band like Therion and living in Buenos Aires?
Well, it's not easy. No, well, it's been, it's already been 11 years since I'm in the band. So what happened is that I got my kid here in Argentina. So moving to Europe was never an option to me because I want to be able to raise or helping to raise my kid. And that's something I cannot do being, living in another continent.
Mhm.
But even so, I had my resident permit in Sweden for a couple of years, but I was always flying, back and forth, Stockholm, Buenos Aires, Stockholm, Buenos Aires. Never more than 2 or 3 months in Europe. Actually, I fly whenever the band needs me. Uh, let's say a couple of weeks before tour, or for rehearsal, or when we have to record in normal times, because now everybody's recording home.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I was thinking today about this because now we're kind of an abroad band because not even Christopher is living in Sweden. I mean, Christopher is living in Malta. You have Chiara living in Italy,
Oh.
and Thomas and Rosalia, they're living in Spain. Nale, well, he's no longer touring with us, but he's recording. He's living in Stockholm. Still, I don't know. And I'm in Argentina, so let's
Yeah.
say that everybody has to travel now today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So how is the composition process of an album in a band area?
Well, in this band, we all have the opportunity to write a song if we want. No one is forced to do it. So all of us, we're working in our home studios. I will tell you how I work. Uh, we all send the material to Christopher. We'll send songs. So I work here in my home studio by recording guitars, programming drums, bass, orchestration. I record some vocal melodies if I have the idea. If not, we send it to Thomas, which is the master of creating nice melodies, vocal melodies. Actually, I have a little thing to tell you about it. One of the songs, actually the only, I could say so far, the only song I wrote for this trilogy, because I didn't have time or I didn't found the moment for different reasons of life. That's all. So I only sent one song and it made it. I was like it. Christopher liked it. And I'm gonna tell you what happened in the process. What happened is
Mhm.
I sent the song to Christopher. Then he sent it back to me and he said, okay, yes, I like it, but I would like to have some more bars, in the intro. Let's make it double. Okay, I made the intro double, send it back, and say, I still like it. Let's do it, double, double and double. Let's
Double
do it.
again.
For example, double again, then you have to change some stuff so it doesn't get boring for the audience. And then the funny thing was that I did some crappy vocals. Imagine me singing as a soprano because you have some soprano idea and some Thomas Bigstrom idea. So I try to sing like they both, and I sing like no one, of course. So then and some choir, I was recording a couple of, I don't know, maybe eight, 9 tracks, I don't remember. And then Thomas got the tracks, and he started singing. Oh my God! When he sent it back, I said, "Is that my song?" I couldn't believe it. So that's more or less the way we work. We send the ideas to Christopher, and he says, like, it has happened before. He say, "It's okay. I wouldn't touch anything," or he can say, "Oh, let's do this, little that. Let's do that, or whatever." That's the way we work.
Okay, really interesting. And how have you decided to become a guitar player?
Well, actually, I didn't. To be honest, I never thought of doing any other thing. Uh, I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old. You know, more than playing, I started studying guitar. But when I was 14, 15 already, I remember I was in high school. I already knew what I wanted to be. I already knew that I wanted to be a guitar player in a hard rock or a heavy metal band.
Oh,
And I was lucky, maybe, perhaps, I don't know, but I was lucky to fulfill somehow my dream, because I never had to choose between music and any other career. No, it was, this is what I do, this is what I want to be, I go there, forward.
hmm, wow. And you have your solo career, yeah? So could you speak a little about the 2 albums already released?
Oh, yeah. Well, some point in I think it was 2003 or 4, we had this heavy metal band in Argentina called Cuero, it means leather. Um, we played a lot in the Argentina, in the Buenos Aires underground, and some other places in Argentina. But well, we couldn't continue due to several reasons. Then I decided to make my first solo album, where I could somehow mix my roots, my Argentinian roots. I mean,
Hmm.
tango influence, Argentinian folk influence, progressive rock influence, and metal. And I couldn't put all that stuff together in a band, in a metal band, for example.
Mhm.
So I say, I'm gonna, I want to do my own album, my own music, where there's no tags, and I can play whatever I want. It's a little bit extreme to listen, that I can say today, because maybe it's very difficult, a little bit difficult to listen to, due to all the changes.
Okay. Hmm.
Uh, but then, but the reason is why I did that, because I was looking for something who could in somehow make me sound different in that moment, where in that moment, kind of every guitar player was trying to sound like Joy Satriani, Yngwie Malmsteen,
Ah,
or
okay.
even
Hmm.
people which I love. I love the way
Hmm.
they played. They were strong, and big influences to
Hmm.
me. But I didn't want to make another album sounding like them.
Hmm.
So in somehow I was trying to bring from my roots, and I said this is gonna in somehow make me sound different. And
Okay.
Well, in the end, uh, on one hand, it was very difficult to listen for the main audience, let's say. But on the other hand, when Christopher emailed me about joining the band, he said that he found in my playing style, to sort of saying some things in common in the way I treated my own folk and tango music, and I blended it with the metal, in
Mm-hmm.
common with the way he was already blending,
Yeah.
his
Uh-huh. Yeah.
classical, the Swedish folk influence with the metal. That
Mm-hmm.
that's something I didn't know at all. Of course, I remember he told, actually he wrote things about me that not even me knew, if you know what I mean. So that was El Viaje, which means the trip or the journey,
That's true.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is that after that album, I started traveling around the world, and I never stopped till the pandemic, of course.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But then
That's it.
everybody stop it. But
Yeah, exactly. That's El Viaje. And then Home, which is my last solo album. Well, this is different because a lot of things happened in all these 10 or almost 15 years.
mm-hmm.
Uh, then I had already learned a lot from working with Christopher, with Thomas, from, regarding to production, you know, and you can hear all that in the record. There's a big difference between Home and El Viaje regarding to production, as I told you. And I remember a few years ago, I was working in Spain with this project, doing Queen Symphonic Rhapsody and ABBA Symphonic Rhapsody and Pink Floyd Symphonic. And I was uh, writing the orchestration and the arrangements. So that in somehow showed me a little bit of Queen, ABBA, and Pink Floyd Kitchen, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And plus playing several times songs of all these brilliant people. And all that in somehow came to home, in the production, because, well, it was there. I just took it in somehow. And well, I think you can listen to that difference of production in home. It's much more electric, if you want. Well, I'm very happy with the result.
Mm-hmm. All right. And you are a guitar teacher, so how do your classes work, and how could people contact you in order to have them?
Oh yeah, I love teaching. Actually, till I joined the band, I was working in a very nice school of music here in Argentina. But
Yeah.
well, once I started touring, it was impossible to keep on teaching there. But teaching is so important to me, and so important. And during the pandemic, now I started to teach much more than before, of
Mm-hmm.
course. I'm teaching online, and that's something that help. It's helping me a lot, because every time you teach, I don't like repeating stuff to my students, because I think that every student has his own way of understanding
Mm-hmm.
concepts. So I really like finding different ways of explaining maybe the same thing. So it is so refreshing. And I always say that when I'm teaching, in somehow I'm relearning, because it, I like that. As I told you, I
Mm-hmm.
don't like repeating
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So I'm always bringing stuff from here, from there, to the people. well, my students, they all are, seems to be happy. And that's,
Yeah.
and that's something that makes me happy. How can they, contact me on the Instagram, on my account, which is Christian Vidal Music, easy
Okay.
as that.
Okay.
Or on my official Facebook page or
Mm-hmm.
personal Facebook page, they can
All right.
find that.
Okay. And which are your gear preferences?
Well, let's say from the Flor du Mal till today, we are just using amplifier simulators.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, some people is going to agree, some people it's not. It's not, but to us it is so easy to work that way, especially when you have to travel a lot. Especially when you have to travel, this is so
Mm-hmm.
easy. You just take your amp simulator and you sound the same every night, in
Yeah.
every stage. And actually, that's the way we have been recording all guitars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna tell you that I don't like having four cabinets and 8 heads or whatever, but we are not using that. And regarding to guitars, I'm
Mm-hmm.
using Gibson. I've been using Gibson a lot. Then I changed for a couple of years to Ibanez, and then I'm back to Gibson, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
more than happy with that.
All right. Good. And which are your main metal influences as a musician?
My main, sorry.
Your main metal influences as a
Oh,
musician.
oh. To put it simple, I should say all the metal of the 80s. To put it
Okay.
simple, but I can I can of course give you some names. I started with Iron Maiden, Scorpions. Of course,
Mm.
I really love the. I don't remember the name of that very famous live album of Scorpions. Worldwide Live. World, I don't remember the name, but in the 80s there
Yeah.
was this. Oh, I loved that album.
Mm.
Uh, well, Europe, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Megadeth. Yeah, the very beginnings of Metallica till the Black album, maybe, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
fantastic album. But I
I
really prefer,
understand you.
I really prefer Master of Puppets or
Yeah.
and Justice for. Many of the uh, thrash metal scene, San Francisco Bay, all this band. I don't know. I don't remember all, and I can't name all of them. But Testament, Death Angel,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of men.
Okay.
Almost all what happened in the 80s, and from the
Mm-hmm.
90s, I just would say Dream Theater, which is
Mm-hmm.
for me the band which brought something really really different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
like wow. But
Yeah.
then 80s, all the 80s.
Okay.
That's regarding to metal.
Uh-huh. And which are your influences out of metal, if there is
Oh yeah,
something?
oh yeah, I have a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna start by your neighborhood somehow. I'm, I think I'm gonna need you to show me how to which is the right pronunciation. But Beethoven, Mozart, and Bach. But I don't know
Well,
what's the
yeah,
way I should
it's
say.
okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Well,
Yeah, it's great. It's
those
great.
three guys, those three guys, those three
Mm-hmm.
guys. Oh my God. And then Piazzolla, which he was a very important tango composer from Argentina, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and then I listened to some jazz musicians, but I'm not a big fanatic. And then, of course, Argentinian we call it folklore here, which is folk music, Argentinian folk music. Some of them I really love to hear. So it's you know, I have influences by several
Different genres.
places,
Yeah.
you could say, yeah. But,
Okay. Good. And which would be the main influences to keep composing rock and metal operas for THERION? Are there any influences?
well, in you know, in my personal case, I was never a big opera listener guy.
Okay.
I only listened to Requiem, Requiem of Mozart and a couple of masses which I loved, but not much, uh, on the other hand, Christopher and Thomas, they are opera guys. And for me, I would say that big part of that influence is the band itself, because it's been already 11 years playing and listening to the opera stuff of the band. So in my case, I would say it works that way. That's my opera influence. In Christopher, well, that's something he should say. You can listen a lot of Wagner, a lot of this, a lot of that. It's like, oof. But in my case, as I told you,
Okay.
THERION has been my influence.
Yeah. Great influence. Yeah. Good. Now I have a situation for you. This is like a classical situation here on Matters Law. Okay. So suppose you were a bad guy, you got in trouble and had life imprisonment as a sentence, and you can have nothing with you but 3 albums, only 3, that you can listen for the rest of your life because one of the guards of the prison is a nice guy and gave you them as a present. So which albums would you choose and why?
Wow, that's very tough, and it's a very unfair question.
As well,
I think it's
I
very
agree.
unfair. Huh?
I agree.
Oh yeah, it's very unfair because it shouldn't be it shouldn't be less than 10. But well, if I gotta, for me and for a lot of people, I guess, some albums, they represent, you know, a couple of years in my life. So sometimes I think when we choose an album, we are, is what we choose is those years of our life. So I would definitely choose one Beatle album. Don't ask me which one, please, because that's
Okay.
no, tougher.
Okay.
And Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, undoubtedly. And from Iron Maiden, I would say Life After Death.
Good stuff. And I believe it's smart doing that, because if you have live albums, you can have a little bit from every album, previous albums in only one. Yeah.
Exactly, because
it's
but
job.
I would tell you, yeah, I would really miss a lot of stuff. I would really miss. Oh yeah.
I believe
I'm
you.
so sorry for all the other stuff I couldn't choose.
Yeah. Good. And to finish our interview, would you like to leave a message to your fans who are watching and listening to us?
Of course, to our fans. First, I want to say thanks for listening to our music. Thanks for being there. And I want to say, since these are, such a difficult and tough times, I want to say, stay safe. I really hope we can meet soon in a concert, if possible. And as I told you, be safe, please. Stay safe and stay metal.
Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, so thanks again, Christian, for the interview, and thank you all for watching and listening to us, and stay heavy.
Stay heavy.